on, everybody? So for this video, basically we're just gonna be taking a look at the LG G Stylo, and this particular one was for Boost Mobile, which you gotta say, for this device, it was a game changer for those people that were on Boost Mobile. And there were some goods, there were some bads. We'll talk about those here real quick. But this device pretty much changed it up for a lot of people in the looking for a budget device, because most of the time when it came to a device that had a stylus, there was only one, and that one was the Galaxy Note series. So finding a device that had that, being able to use a stylus on the screen for note taking and stuff like that without really breaking your wallet, this device became that. It filled that void. And a lot of people really, there's still people today that use this device. Yes, there was like very different variants of it, and with that being said, that was probably one of the downsides to it, was the fact that there were so many different ones, and those had like different specs, so they weren't all spec the same. With Boost Mobile, and I believe Cricket having the lower spec version. So if you guys were curious about the specs from back in the day, if you guys have forgotten, this thing basically had a 1.2 gigahertz Qualcomm Snapdragon 410 with 1 gigabyte of RAM. The entire internal storage was only 8 gigabytes. So you had like 3 gigabytes usable. But it did have expandable storage to put an SD card in there, and it did not have adoptable storage. You had to actually bypass that using ADB in order to unlock that feature to use. Cameras on this, basically 8 megapixel in the rear with autofocus, LED flash, and it had the laser autofocus basically with it. And then you had a 5 megapixel front facing camera. The screen size was 5.7-inch display, so it was an HD, but not full HD, because it had basically at 720 by 1280 pixels at 258 pixels per inch, and it was an LCD display. Now with that, you had a 3000 milliamp hour battery, no NFC or any of that stuff. But one of the things that was really cool about this device was the design language. It had the volume rockers and power buttons on the rear of the phone. So this was like one of the times where LG showcased that first. So that was something that was like really, really cool. Other notable features on this thing was that you also had dual Windows support, so you can have 2 applications running at the same time, and that made it, multitasking, something that, you were able to do with this phone. Especially with compared to other budget devices that came out at the same time, did not really have this feature to run 2 apps at the same time. So this wasn't something that you had to, modify by rooting your device to get that done. It was already pre-given to you. Other cool things about it, basically, was the fact that it got multiple system updates. So originally released, I think it was with Lollipop 5.0.2, later moved to 5.1, and then 5.1.1, and then now sits at 6.0 Marshmallow and hasn't gone up since. But that's unheard of for these types of devices. Normally they get maybe about one OS update, like major OS update, and then a bunch of security patches, but this phone was able to get multiple ones. Some other notable things about this device is obviously the stylus. So it did come with a stylus, and they didn't have the pen pop feature that came in the Stylo 2. So that's something that you didn't see with this phone, but you still had the ability to use the stylus for note taking and even playing games on here. Like games like Cooking Mama became very easy with the stylus being able to be used. The phone itself, its design was probably one of the things that I loved about it. It was very ergonomic and fit comfortably in the hand. I just wish that all the variants between the different brands were all the same. For you, if you had the T-Mobile version or the Metro version, you lucked out really good, because you had double the storage and more RAM, and I believe it had NFC and a better camera in the back. But other than that, this is probably one of the most memorable devices that came out from Boost Mobile, and I must say that if you still rock one of these today, good on you, if it does what you need it to do as far as the storage not being adequate. But other than that, guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know by dropping me a like. Subscribe if you have not, And leave your comments about this device. I'm curious to know what you guys think. Until next time, aloha.